Reddington Hospital is the first hospital to achieve international accreditation on quality that was awarded by the Council for Health Service Accreditation of South Africa.
By way of history, this was the first cardiac catheterization lab in the country, and for the first 5 years after its inception, the only one. There have been about 1,000 or more procedures carried out here, and that includes stenting, angiography, pacemakers, and assessment for valvular problems.
In Reddington Theatre, why we stand out is because we maintain the standards. You can't really have this in another hospital. So we have a C-arm in case we are doing an orthopedic procedures, like maybe we want to do open reduction internal fixation, yes. So we want to do fluoroscopy, and this is the machine that we use. What we call defibrillator. So we use it to pass shock energies to a patient who has coded, we call it code. So this is a form of a store, like where we keep our accessories for any procedure we want to do. All right, for like this is what we call the stirrups for lithotomy cases. Okay, we have this one. It's also a stirrup, but it's called the great shark or the great white. So why this is very comfortable is that you can move it to any position, like high lithotomy, low lithotomy. So, but we use it on the operating table.
We have everything set up to receive a patient. So it depends, there are different kinds of patients that come through. For instance, you can see that we have a C-arm that is well connected. We're going to do an orthopedic case, and like we discussed previously, it's open reduction internal fixation. That means there will be implants set into the person's legs. So before the patient comes in, of course, they would have an anesthetic prep, and then they will come in and they'll be connected to these equipments. Now, what this equipment does is that it helps us to monitor the cardio system of the patient when the patient is asleep. And then you can also see the pulse oximeter will show the oxygenation of the patient and all that. The machine will automatically come on. You can see all the ECG once the patient is laid down here. So it would help us to put the patient to sleep, which is the anesthetic bit of it. For other procedures, you can see this modular theatre has an internal camera here, up in the lights, and it reflects up there. We use this for various reasons, for teaching purposes, and as well as the anesthetic team can actually see over the procedure to see what's really going on in case some attention needs to be called at that point. I worked and studied in the UK, and I can literally tell you that this particular theatre is a world-class theatre, to be honest with you. I don't see any difference, or maybe even better than most of the theatres I've worked in the UK.
So intensive care or critical care is that part of the hospital that sets apart the patients who are really, really sick from those who are just moderately ill. The really ill patients need constant monitoring. As you can see on that multi-parameter monitor over there, it measures and continuously records heart rate, oxygen saturation, blood pressure, and indeed end-tidal CO2. A hospital like Reddington wouldn't really be able to achieve all its aims and objectives if, for instance, we did not have this critical care unit. So I am proud to say that in an environment where the equipment, the staffing, and the environment is adequate, we're able to save lives beyond what is possible in other parts of the hospital, or indeed in other hospitals that do not have an intensive care unit like this. Because of the staff, because of the equipment, because of the environment, we are constantly able to attract and retain our doctors who previously did not have an environment to come back home to. Indeed, if you look around the consultant staff, the nursing staff at the Reddington Hospital, it has the highest concentration of diaspora-trained medical staff that I've seen anywhere.